Thank you, Alison. Good evening, everyone. Let me start by saying how flattered I am to be asked to do this interview. Key Porter, as everybody knows, is probably the most prestigious Canadian publisher, and nothing in Canada can compare to Alison's Cookbook store. Gordon, over the last few weeks, when I've mentioned to people that I would be interviewing you, they would say, "You're interviewing Gordon Ramsay?" And my friends were impressed. You know, so before we've even started, I want to tell you what a positive effect you've had on my self-esteem. Notwithstanding that, you may or may not know that I've never done an interview like this before, let alone in front of 450 people, not one of whom came here to see me. So that's probably my wife, and I know for a fact that she came here to see you. Anyway, so quite frankly, I could use your help. And tonight I'd like to try to discover what makes Gordon Ramsay tick. And more, even deeper than that, what Gordon Ramsay stands for. I'd like to start with Scotland, one of my favorite places, and up till now I've never met a Scot that I didn't like. So you were born in Scotland.
Yes, yeah. I mean, what, 42 years ago. Scotland's not famed for its food in terms of culinary repertoire. Only lived there for a short period of time. Mum and Dad were always moving up sticks, and Dad's job sort of took him around the country, but we were in and out of sort of housing estates.
Do you feel, though, that you're a Scot?
I do, in many ways, in terms of Mum's determination, definitely, without a doubt. I enjoy going back there. It's always it's a sort of bittersweet flavour. I took Jack back recently, my 9-year-old son, to Ibrox, where I signed at the age of 15 schoolboy forms. Got taken up at 16 as a professional soccer player. So it's not because I tried to eradicate anything to do with my background in Scotland, but it was just quite a bizarre moment, a turning point in my life, I think.
See, in Canada, we enjoy the difference between us and Americans.
Yeah. And
I get a sense that Scots see themselves different from the English.
Yeah, I mean, you've all seen the movie Braveheart, and they want that level of independence. So that's me walking to the kitchen every time I go to do a service. Willie Wallace, except I don't wear a kilt. But I enjoy going back there. There's a level of freedom. There's the most amazing countryside, and I had a phenomenal restaurant 10 years ago, Amaryllis, that was like going home and opening up in your own hometown. Sadly, I lost the chef, and after his death, it was quite a horrible feeling, because it wasn't about making money in Scotland and trying to sort of take back in terms of what you put into it. I just felt that it wasn't right to continue opening that restaurant when I'd lost such an amazing friend who'd been with me for 9 years, an amazing chef. Yes. So to have this restaurant, nothing to do with the Michelin star, even though it won a Michelin star, it was just not the kind of thing I wanted to feel happy about and excited, so I closed the restaurant. But I think we're a little bit ahead of our time there in terms of, it was such a destinational sort of eating out establishment that it was becoming fully booked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but Monday to Wednesday, it was like a ghost town, because it became a special occasion place, which is the sort of beginning of the end for any restaurant, I think.
So I've sort of got a sense from Scots that I've met that they are polite, rugged, no nonsense, sort of less willing to suffer fools.
Yeah, I think honesty, really. I mean, just straight to the point in terms of, you're always being criticised for that level of bluntness, but that's how we grew up, and that's, I think, in the kitchen, and you know more about this than I do, it's got to be done there and then. It's not about putting a little plaster on it and saying, look, let's talk about that tomorrow, because there's customers out there that are paying money there and then, and they leave that restaurant there and then. So one thing Scotland's taught me is I suppose the brutal honesty, the determination, and had I not sort of failed with soccer due to a bad injury, you know, it's a big question, would I still be, you know, in love with food today? That was my turning point. So you know, it's my bedrock.